There are stories the wilderness whispers, and then there are the silences it imposes. It is in those profound, absolute silences that we find the most unsettling truths about our place in the world. Imagine, if you will, a person simply ceasing to be. Not a trace, not a sound, not a final breath witnessed, just gone. One moment, they are here, vibrant and real. The next, the vast, green tapestry of nature has swallowed them whole, leaving behind an echo of their absence that reverberates through the lives of those left behind. This isn't a tale of a dramatic rescue or a heroic struggle against the elements. It's a story about the void, about the terrifying humility that descends when the wilderness reclaims one of its own, not through violence or accident, but through a complete, enigmatic disappearance. It's about the lessons we learn when the answers we crave are simply not there. Let me tell you about Ethan Vance. Ethan wasn't some novice adventurer chasing a thrill. He was a seasoned outdoorsman, a cartographer by trade, whose lifeblood was the untamed wild. His compass was an extension of his hand, his knowledge of flora and fauna encyclopedic, and his respect for nature absolute. He'd spent decades navigating some of the most challenging terrains, always returning with a quiet sense of accomplishment and a deeper understanding of the world. He was meticulous, prepared, and never took unnecessary risks. His loved ones knew his routines, his gear lists were legendary, and his emergency protocols were drilled into him like second nature. It was a late autumn morning when Ethan set out for a solo trek into the Blackwood Range, a sprawling, ancient forest, known for its towering pines and hidden valleys. It was, on an extreme expedition by his standards, a familiar 5-day loop through a designated wilderness area, popular enough that trail markers were clear, but vast enough to offer solitude. He'd meticulously planned his route, shared it with his sister, Sarah, and triple-checked his extensive gear. Satellite communicator, GPS, first aid, ample food and water, cold-weather clothing. Everything was accounted for. He promised to check in via sat phone on day 3 and upon his return. His departure was unremarkable. A casual wave goodbye as he stepped onto the trailhead, a picture of quiet confidence against the backdrop of vibrant fall foliage. The first hint of unease arrived not with a distress signal, but with its absence. Day 3 passed. No call from Ethan. Sarah, knowing Ethan's reliability, gave him the benefit of the doubt, perhaps a dead zone? Or he was conserving battery. But by the morning of day 6, when Ethan should have been back, a cold knot of dread began to tighten. She called the park rangers. Within hours, a preliminary search was launched. The timeline of the search itself became a testament to human determination against an indifferent landscape. Initial ground teams followed his known trail, hoping for a dropped item, a scuffed boot print, anything. Nothing. The trail was clear, exactly as Ethan would have left it. No signs of struggle, no discarded wrappers, no deviation from the marked path. As the hours stretched into days, the operation escalated. Helicopters with thermal imaging, drones with high-resolution cameras, CAN-Webby units, and dozens of experienced search and rescue volunteers converged on the Blackwood Range. Every inch of his planned route, and miles beyond, was scoured. Rabinas were rappelled caves, explored, dense thickets, penetrated. The wilderness, however, yielded nothing but its own vastness. The search teams were not looking for a needle in a haystack. They were looking for a shadow in a forest, a whisper in a gale. They found no broken branches indicating a fall, no blood, no torn fabric, no campfires, no makeshift shelters. His satellite communicator, designed to send an SOS with a single press, remained silent. His GPS tracker, an active beacon, never activated. It was as if Ethan had simply stepped off the face of the earth. As the days turned into weeks, the lack of any trace began to gnaw at the searchers. Seasoned professionals, accustomed to finding something, a footprint, a discarded water bottle, even a grave, were baffled. This wasn't a case of someone getting lost. It was a case of someone vanishing without a single, tangible interaction with the environment around them. It was then that the subtle, mismatched details began to surface, not as clues, but as unsettling anomalies that deepened the mystery. Sarah recalled a fleeting conversation just days before Ethan left. He'd mentioned a last-minute change to his gear. Something about swapping out his primary tent for a lighter, older model he rarely used, claiming he wanted to test its limits again. It was out of character for his meticulous planning, especially for a familiar route. Then there was the discovery. During a routine check of his home, of his cherished custom-engraved pocket-knife, a tool he never went into the wilderness without sitting on his bedside table. It was a small detail, easily overlooked in the chaos, but to those who knew Ethan, it was profoundly wrong. Why would he leave behind his most trusted companion? Was it an oversight, or did it signify something more deliberate? Something that pointed away from a simple accident? These weren't answers, but rather more questions, threads that refused to weave into a coherent narrative. They hinted at a decision, a moment of distraction, or perhaps an unexpected encounter that preceded his disappearance, yet left no physical mark. Eventually, the agonizing decision was made. With no new traces, no credible leads, and the harsh winter approaching, the official search was called off. The resources were exhausted, the hopes dimmed, and the families were left with an unbearable emptiness. The wilderness had kept its secret. What we knew about Ethan Vance was extensive. His experience, his meticulous preparation, his planned route, the equipment he should have carried, the exhaustive search efforts. We knew the weather conditions were challenging but not catastrophic. We knew the exact moment he started his journey, and the estimated time of his return. But what remained utterly unknown was everything that truly mattered. His final moments, the contributing factors to his disappearance, the sound, the sight, the feeling of whatever transpired. Did he fall? Was he injured? Did he encounter something or someone unexpected? Or did he simply choose to walk away from his known life, leaving no trace? The void of these unanswered questions became a chasm impossible to bridge. The silence of the wilderness, once a source of peace and solitude for Ethan, now echoed with the profound absence of his presence. It was a silence that spoke volumes, not of answers, but of the ultimate mystery that lies at the heart of existence. It reminds us that despite all our advancements, all our technology, all our desire for control, there are forces far greater and secrets far deeper than we can ever comprehend. Ethan Vance's story is a stark reminder of the fragile line between presence and absence, between the known and the utterly unknowable. It forces us to confront the limits of our understanding and the humbling power of the natural world. But it is also paradoxically a call to live more fully, to cherish every moment, to embrace the journey with open eyes and a grateful heart, knowing that the ultimate destination might forever remain shrouded in the majestic silent mystery of the wild. For in the face of such profound disappearance, the greatest inspiration lies in the enduring human spirit that continues to seek, to remember, and to find meaning even in the emptiness. Subscribe to support the production of future videos.